Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kodash, double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, peace and salutations unto the 144,000. This is Brother Kyle here, back with another lesson to the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. Right? Lord willing, be edifying to the point and 100% truth. Right? So this title for the video would be I hate the congregation of evildoers, which was inspired by, the second scripture that I'm going to bring, which is Psalms 26 and 5, right? But I want to start off here first, and then we will get into that, because actually I should say the Psalms would be the third scripture, because this other one just came to my mind, right? We have to be in that state where, you're either with the Lord or you're against the Lord. Scripture talk about if you're lukewarm, the Lord will spew out of his mouth. So either you're in or you're out. Right? So let's get into this. 1 Corinthians 10 and verse 20. It says, "But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils and not to God. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils." Right? So the Lord saying, you see, with these heathens, we not to mingle with these heathens, because from before, right, the Lord said, make no make no covenant with the heathens, right, which our covenant goes back to agreement and whatnot. So it's still a form of mingling or mixing with them. We not to do that. That is the whole reason why we fell off in the first place, because they don't follow our customs, right? And they're not going to leave off from their custom to follow ours, because why? What they do, they believe that's how they prosper. But you see, our people are too naive and gullible, because they see that the heathens might be prospering in certain things, and it's like they, as we say in Trinidad, the eye get long, right? Meaning to say that they want that too, get greedy, right? Because our power, right, is still the one that's, giving these heathens their riches and all these things, right? Though they may think it comes from their idol gods or whatever it is, but we supposed to know, as the Lord's people, that our power is the one that giving them that, right? And we ought to have patience for ours. But that's something I always say, our people lack patience, and patience is a hell of a thing, because that was something I was battling heavy when I just came into the truth. I never used to have the problem before, but right before I came in, right, I realized like I started running out of patience fast, and I used to get angry fast, and that's something I used to be constantly praying for, and I started to get back, control, right? As the scripture say, he that keepeth his spirit is greater than one that taketh a city, So if it is you exercise that, scripture say, patience possess your souls. We ought to be patient, right? Scripture say, okay, be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. You understand? So you see how much scripture just flying off the top of my head, but I know if I go and I get it, I will just keep going and going and going, because I have precepts lying up. But hey, you all can have your book and your pen and still jot it down, Google search it and jot it down. So the Lord said not to fellowship with devils, because they can make it to go off. Perfect example with King Solomon, right? When he grew in old age, right, the concubines that he married, right, they got him to go off. They got him to go off by worshiping what the idols and whatnot. So he wasn't punished as King Solomon, right? But he was punished for it as Yahushai when he came and he walked the earth, right? Because we know Yahushai never sinned, but there's a scripture in Hebrews where it say he died for first his sin and then ours. You could look that up too as well. So that is to show you that reincarnation is real, because if Yahushai never sinned when he walked the earth, how could he pay for a sin that he never committed if reincarnation is not real, right? So that is something to think about. So continued in verse 21, it says, "Ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils." Ye cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and the table of devils. So it's either or. It's either with the Lord or you're against the Lord. If you're eating from this world, right, you can expect the feast that the Lord prepared, right, for his bride after you done stuff your face. You understand? The scriptures say, let me get that one. I got quoting too much. Let me get it. Right. So it's actually in the same chapter I was going to jump to, right? I'll start at verse 19, Matthew 6. It says, lay not up for yourself treasures upon earth, where moth and rust do corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourself treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust do corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. Right? So the Lord telling you, hey, don't study the affairs of this life. Store up your treasures in heaven. How are you doing that? When you jump all the way down to verse 33, it says what? But seek ye first of the kingdom of the Most High and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So that's how you obtain that, right? And how do you seek the kingdom and its righteousness? By doing the Lord's work. If you're a woman, you play a role as a woman. You have a husband, you fulfill, the laws of your husband. You give you certain instructions, X, Y, and Z. You try to do to the best of your ability, to please him. By pleasing him, that's how you're pleasing the Lord. You can't please the Lord without pleasing him. It doesn't work that way, right? If you don't have a husband, right, you stay faithful and loyal to the truth. In due time, the Lord will provide you with one. Because the scriptures talk about women being saved through childbearing, right? So, same thing as a man. You do the work of the Lord. If the Lord have you as a prophet, you do the work of a prophet. You have you as an evangelist, you do that. As the list goes on. You can be a herbalist. Specialize in herb. You might not be one to prophesy and bring down the word and whatnot, but hey, you could still be saved, by being that in that form of help to the body, right? Being a herbalist and whatnot. Because not every single one gonna be a prophet, right? So the talent, it goes back to the talent that the Lord gave you. That's what you have to do to assist the body, because you could be a herbalist and you could be in the world, and you're basically, you don't want nothing to do with the body. You rather just sell it to the niggas in the world, right? But if you're a person that the Lord put in his spirit to assist the brotherhood, and thing, nobody's saying they can't sell their herbs on the outside, right? But if it is your let's say you believe in what it is we're doing, you may not fully agree with it right now because the Lord didn't have that in his spirit right now, but you're not disrespectful and not rude, but you're glad to see, hey, so-called black people coming together doing something, in the name of the Lord, and you genuinely want to help, right? The Lord will open your eyes further, and then it could just happen. I just speculating on on a situation, right? But however the Lord feels to do it, he does it, but at the end of the day, verse 21 says, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also, right? So if it is your mind or your heart, which goes back to the same thing, set on the things or the affairs of this life, then hey, that's all you're going to be focusing on, and then you wouldn't it's like you're working a job, and you're focusing on this job, right? And when you get your pay, you're focusing to build your house, right? You're building this house, but you can't afford the pay you're getting, right? You can't afford to build two houses at the same time. You had to build one first or the other, or you could only afford to build one, right? So the house that we building right now is the house of David. You understand? And if it is you choose to build the house of Saul, you can't say, well, alright, I'm gonna build the house of Saul first and then the house of David. No, doesn't work that way, right? It's either you build one or you build the other. Which leads me to verse 24, jumping down. It says, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon, right? So you can't serve the Lord and this world, right? Mammon goes back to money. So It's either you're here or you're there. One way or the other. It can't work like that, right? So let me get into Psalms 26 and 5. It says, I hated the congregation of evildoers and will not sit with the wicked, right? Because these other camps, right? Like for instance, recently with Sakari, they well, guerrilla Hebrew. He was in an interview with a guy who basically just bashing all the Hebrew Israelites and whatnot, you know. But um, Alazar, right? And I didn't watch the whole interview or whatever it is, but you know, it's like he doing all these interviews and all these things, in a form of obtaining payment or whatnot. Because even when a brother shared, the live response he did to GMS, I still didn't watch that either because it's like I played the video and to me it's like I want to know when they're gonna start because he have his Cash App, PayPal, and some VIA card or some shit in his I can't even say the thumbnail, but for his intro that almost 2 or 3 minutes long. It's like it's like you have it to ensure that hey, you see it, you put it in, you send some cash his way. That kind of way. And that's all these guys about money. You know? So the Lord say he hated the congregation of the evildoers, right? These niggas wicked. Right? If you was a man of the Lord, you wouldn't be focusing on, cash up and all these things. You understand? That is not what the word for. The Lord say freely given, freely receive, or freely receive, freely given. Right? But one way or the other, the Lord didn't charge you. The Lord say, hey, come on, how that scripture, well, I'm not butcher, let me get it. Right, this is Isaiah 55 and 1. It says the free offer of mercy. Right, look already the NLT subheading saying invitation to the Lord's salvation. Right, so we know that's what it's speaking about. It says, "Oh, everyone that thirsted, come ye to the waters, and he that had no money, come ye and buy." How you buying without money? Right? As the analogy I love to give, the only thing you're paying with is that you're paying attention, right? You're paying with your attention. You're giving that, that ear to what is being said or what's being brought out for your edification, for your salvation. That is the invitation to your salvation, right? It says, buy wine and milk without money and without price. Wherefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfied not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and not let your soul delight itself in fatness. Right? So it's like the Lord saying, why you let me read the NLT. It says, why spend your money on food that does not give you strength? Why pay for food that does you no good? Listen to me, and you will eat what is good. You will enjoy the finest food. Meaning to say what? Right? Remember Ezekiel gave that analogy that is sweet in his mouth but bitter in his belly. Right? Because why? The word sometimes is often reference to food or water or even the fire. Right? So when it says why spend your money on food, it's like you paying these niggas, right? Your hard-earned money for false doctrine. Them charging for breakdowns and all these different things. Like, really? And no one stopped to ask, so well, how it is they obtain those breakdowns, right? That they selling. It's either somebody teach it to them, right? And they got it free, or the Lord so-called gave them that breakdown that's supposed to be the truth, which they still got it free. You understand? So why is it fair for them to charge you for your salvation? You understand? When the salvation is of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Right? It doesn't make sense. But you coons gonna believe it anyway. Right? But anyways, let me get into these other precepts here and lock it off. There's Psalms 101 and verse 1, right? It says a psalmist's profession of uprightness. This is how we ought to be. It's from King David. It says, I will sing of mercy and judgment unto thee, O Yahweh Bashim Yahushai will I sing. I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way, right? Using wisdom all the time. Or when wilt thou come unto me. I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me. A froward heart shall depart from me. I will not know a wicked person. Whoso privily slandereth his neighbor, him will I cut off. Him that had an high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. Mine eye shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they may dwell with me. He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me. Right? And you could keep on going down, but it just goes to show you, right? Because when you talk about whoso privily slandereth his neighbor, right? Your neighbor goes back to your kin, right? Someone in your nation, right? It doesn't mean your neighbor like the person who living next door, and he don't can be living next door to you. But that's not what it's speaking of, right? They're speaking about the people of your nation, but mainly your brother, right? Now, when you look at it, these other camps been falsely accusing of, especially IUIC, been falsely accusing us of all different things, starting with the apostles, you know, all these camps saying, oh, we rapists and all these different things, and and it's not true, right? Where the apostles and them just broke down what it is being said in the scripture, right? And up to now, they can't say, well, okay, if Apostle Taha broke this down wrong and he making it an excuse, then you break it down and try to make sense out of it. You understand? Because these niggas just so effeminate and soft, you know? That's why the Lord said this truth is not for everybody, because they're not able to bear it. Romans 11:7, right? Alright, this will be the last scripture here. There's Psalms 139:21. It says, do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee? Am I not and am I select and am not I grieved with those that rise up against thee? I hate them with a perfect hatred. I count them my enemies. Alright? And that is sure that's how we have to be. Right? So in the same gorilla Hebrew now, right? Talking about the president called him, he had to go and support, and tell him people, hey, get off my dick and all this type of shit. Because when you get rebuked, right, you don't want to take it. That's to show how these niggas just all about the money. You understand? You're preaching against these white people, but one of the biggest devils call you, right? And you up on it going, you promoting for him and all this type of shit. You just want money. You're not for your people. You understand? And that is another way to show how we slander his brothers. You understand? Because there are people who have faith in you, they trust you, and then it's like, you up suddenly going, hey, government call. I'm going one time. Show a big bag his way. You understand? And that was the end of that. So it says, search me, O Yahweh, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting. And that is what we have to be. That is what we ought to be. We ought to be like King David, when he said in Psalm 51, wash me with hyssop so that I may be clean. You understand? We ought to want that cleansing. We don't want to end up like these niggas where it's just like, hey, he saw come on the chop a 1 million or a 10 million in US thing in your lap, so bam. Say, hey, look, get this money to stop preaching it. You understand? You ought to ask yourself why it is the willing to give you so much money just to say something if it's not true. You understand? It might be a tempting thing, but you ought to be strong in the spirit to say, hey, these devils and them going out of their way to give me that kind of money. When I was a nigga in the world that wasn't coming to get that kind of money, why is they trying to get that money just to say something? You understand? So you ought to know, well, hey, these people, they know what it is you're saying is true. They wouldn't go to that extent if you're just a random nigga in the world. You understand? You gotta level up your mind, think about that. Right? So hey, I hope this lesson was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. On to the next one, and again, keep on thinking about it. Keep it to the back of your mind. right? It's either you're with the Lord or you're not. Shalom.